Charnwood, woodworking machinery at its best.
Hi, I'm Charlie from Charnwood and this is the PT250. It's a 10-inch planer with a 5-inch thicknesser capacity. It comes complete with push pads, Allen keys and most important, a knife setting jig. It's powered by a 1500 watt 2 horsepower motor that turns the cutter block over at 9,000 RPM. There's 2 knives on the cutter block, so that means we've got 18,000 cuts a minute, or 300 cuts a second. Impressive. Before we start using a planer thicknesser, the most important item we have to sort out is extraction. Very important. So on this occasion, what I've done, I've coupled the PT250 up to a DC50 auto using the 100mm extraction port here. Now we can get ready to start work. Before we start cutting, once the machine's set up, we need to adjust the blade guards to stop us having any mishap. So I pull that out and I lock it off and we're ready to go. We're going to take up to a 2mm cut, so I'm now adjusting the feed table and we're about ready to go. I fire it up. You can see this is a rough bit of wood we've chosen. There's a bit of a wormhole there, but we've got a datum. We know that is now flat, level surface. And we're now going to mirror the angle that is in the corner here, be it 90 degrees or anything from 90 to 45 degrees. And we're going to mirror it so that we've got a second datum to work to when we put it through the thicknesser. Before I feed it through the machine, what I'm going to do is push this finished datum against the fence, not onto the bed, so that that angle is replicated here, and I'll just adjust this fence here so that we've not got any chance of having this up. Okay, and we're ready to go.
Let's talk miter fence. The machine's fitted with an extruded aluminium rigid fence, and this is adjustable between 45 and 90 degrees relevant to the table face. To ensure accuracy and repeatability of cut, the fence is fitted with 2 lock stops, one at 90 and one at 45 degrees. And here we can see a 45 degree miter being put onto a piece of stock wood. A nice clean cut. Let's return to the second cut.
Now you can see we've got a narrow datum and a wider datum, and this is ready now to go through the thicknesser. We're now going to convert the machine to become a thicknesser.
First we remove the cutter guard, then we remove the fence with the Allen key provided. Extend the lift table and put on the height adjusting knob.
The last part of the transformation is to remove the dust hood, which we do by pulling the pins that locate it, removing it, upending it, relocating it over the cutter block and relocating the pins. The pins that secure it are part of the safety switch mechanism that stops the machine working if you haven't got the dust hood fitted.
As if by magic, the dust extractor is fitted to the dust hood. When using a thicknesser to make the opposite sides parallel, the convention is to use the broadest face first, giving stability for the cut.
So here we go, we'll fire it up and we'll pass it through and see how we get on.
What does happen inside the thicknesser? Here we see a stock piece of wood going through the thicknesser. So what actually happens? Well, the first thing is you line your machine up and get it running. You can see the feed rollers turning in the cutter block. You push your wood in, and the first thing it comes across is the anti-kickback fingers. The next thing that happens is it feeds through. Wait for it, here it comes. Anti-kickback fingers. It's picked up by the feed roller that powers it through the cutter block, which is turning over at 9,000 RPM, giving 18,000 cuts a minute. The outfeed roller then takes the wood. Both rollers are driving the wood through the machine at 8 meters per minute. Both are vulcanized so as not to bruise the finished surface. And as we come to a stop, you can see the cutter block just slowly coming down to a halt now. So that is what it's about, consistent velocity through the cutter. And just to recap, here we see a piece of stock wood going through. Here we can see we have a good finished surface, but more importantly, it's a level surface and the opposite face is parallel to the face we just produced. Now it's time to do the narrow datum. This is why we have a planer thicknesser. When we get a nice finish, but we've got a level side that has an opposite side that is parallel. So it doesn't matter which edge you look at, they are parallel to each other, which is why we need and we use the planer thicknesser. Not forgetting the all-important figures. Opposite sides parallel by PT250. Cleanup squad, care of DC50 Auto. For full details and to find your local stockist, please visit www.charnwood.net. Thank you for watching. Charnwood, proud to be a family business.